Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. We've got a really awesome guest today who designs cool projects for startups, creates online content, and teaches about design, code, and life. Please join me in welcoming Jesse Showalter. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Ready for 20 questions?
I'm ready for 20 questions.
Okay, here we go. Number one, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
Yep. So I am a designer, specifically like digital design. That would be websites, mobile applications, and web applications. I'm a content creator. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator, and I'm a mentor in the design space. That's what I do.
Great. And just a note for our audience, Jesse and I don't know each other until now, but came to me through a recommendation from a popular recent guest, Flora Gordon.
Oh,
Um,
awesome. Amazing.
Great. So number two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
Man, that's a tough question. A key piece of knowledge that makes me different. I think that's probably we're always learning new pieces of key information or knowledge that are, I think, involving us as people. But one of the most recent things I think I've learned that's been different for me, at least, is that trying to impress people or trying to make people like you, trying to be all things to all people is impossible. So it's probably just better to be comfortable in your own skin and be yourself.
That's great advice. You know, our podcast has been mainly a design podcast and has branched into the arts and humanities, but it does kind of try to overlap into other areas as well. So, for example, one of our early episodes was with Zelda Sauce, who's a gamer and really devotes her time to that. And I see that you're defined as an internet personality in some places.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to see that title or stigma kind of like put onto you, but I think no matter what you're doing, whether you are like pursuing a career or growing in a skill or a gift or pursuing a hobby, I think that you only really have like joy and fulfillment in it when you stop and you kind of put down the facade of trying to do it the way that other people do it or do it the way that other people have kind of paved a path. Maybe that paved path is the way to go, but maybe there's a different route and it's your way of talking, your way of thinking, your way of dressing things. So I just think everyone has a unique perspective. And when people realize that, that's when they really start living life.
Great. So you kind of just answered this, but number three is why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah, my mission and goal in life is to encourage people, equip people to really live a fulfilled life. And so whether for me, it was, 16 years ago, I was washing dishes and waiting tables. And I didn't really have anything that I loved, that I was super passionate about. And I was encouraged and I was equipped within the realm of design to build a life for myself that I actually really love, something I could be proud of. And later on, that turned into building YouTube channels that I can be proud of and feel fulfilled in, or building a business that I'm proud of and have satisfaction in. So more than anything, I've found joy in sticking it out, staying the distance, and building things that give me a sense of joy personally. So I do that, and I encourage other people to do that as well.
Great. And some people stumble with number four, but the question is, what does your future look like?
Yeah, my future looks like less and less of me kind of like being the doer and the maker. And it's a big sacrifice because I love doing, I love making, I love creating.
Mm.
And unfortunately, you reach a certain point, whether it's age, career, timing, whatever it is, where life starts ushering you in more towards mentorship, teaching, equipping, and training people. So the future looks like for me, actually investing less in quote unquote my craft and investing more in people. That's going to be the new thing is investing into people. That's going to be the new thing that gives me joy and satisfaction.
That's awesome. One of our early guests has released a book through MIT Press on DIY culture and maker culture. And it sounds like you're kind of evolved to the next step after that, which is really interesting. Number five is we say it's unique to this podcast. The question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
It's funny. It's an interesting question because there's a part of that plays place has no place, quote unquote, or it doesn't play into what I do at all. I can technically do what I do from anywhere. So am I a digital nomad? Can I do it on the road? Can I do it, like green eggs and ham style from a train, from a car? Sure, I absolutely can. But there is also a part of this where I need dedicated time to focus and film content that will end up equipping and investing in people. And so I'm in my studio right now. So to have a quiet space, a separate space, so to that extent, place does actually matter to me and plays into what I do. But if I had to, at the end of the day, I can do it probably from anywhere. So it's kind of a mixed bag question for me, but hopefully there's some sort of answer in there.
No, that's good. Number six is, if you had to start from the beginning, what advice would you give your former younger self?
Yeah, I would start sooner. I would apply sooner. And I would start learning from mistakes a lot sooner. I think the key
Mm.
word there is just sooner. I think a lot of people, me included, we're waiting. We're waiting for the right time, for the right set of skills that we've developed. We're waiting for the quote unquote right thing. But the right thing will never come. It's the right now thing. And so if you start applying for jobs before you feel like you're ready, building that business before you feel like you're qualified, taking that risk before it seems safe, this is just for me. I would tell myself, the earlier version of me, do things now, don't wait for perfection later. Perfection is the killer of progress.
Great. And what's a day in your life like?
Day in the life is I hyper focus on health right now, and I have for a while. That's emotional health, physical health, spiritual health. So the first part of my day, usually from about 6 until 10:30, is spent kind of focusing on me and the vessel and what's going to help carry me into my 60s, 70s, and 80s, hopefully being a healthy, happy person. And then I probably do another 5 or 6 hours of work, and whether that's scripting, content creation, course creation, or mentorships, which I do quite often. And then I spend the back half of my day hanging out with my wife, kids, and family because they matter to me immensely.
Great. And number eight, lifelong learning is a popular topic these days. How do you stay up to date?
I'm a lifelong player. That's player maybe is the wrong term, but somebody who enjoys to play. I like to try new programs. I don't like to watch tutorials. I was the kid who, as soon as I got a remote control car on Christmas, I just would take it apart and try to put it back together. So I'm the person that just likes to sample, enjoy, try, test things out. So I'm constantly downloading softwares, downloading different things, like ordering certain things, trying them, playing with them, and trying to get very tactile, very hands-on, and learning through exploration. So I think a lifelong learner is somebody who's curious, and who wants to explore. And that's what I try to do.
Great. Number nine is about tools. And you gave us a good visual there with taking apart this remote control car, but are you both digital and analog?
I am actually a little bit. So there's certain things that work very, very well for me digital. There's other things that work atrociously for me digital. I need them to be more analog. For instance, like Pomodoro timers, I do like analog versions of that. If I'm going to do calendars, it's great to have a to-do list or a task list like physically about me somewhere. There's something about marking that off. When I journal, I don't journal digitally. I do that analog because that just feels a lot more intimate. It's an intimate time for me. On the flip side of things, there's a lot of tools that I use that are digital that I just absolutely love. Like for me, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and a Loom video is worth about 1,000,000. So I can talk to my employees or my contractors or people I'm working with by Loom video in 120 seconds, and that would set them up for 2 to 3 days of powerful work. So I'm up for any digital tool that frees me up of my time and allows me to focus more on the things that matter.
Great. And halfway, number 10, how do you deal with work-life balance?
I constantly check myself and I ask the people that matter most to me if they feel like they're getting the best of me.
Mm.
So one of my biggest fears is that I have misaligned my priorities and I'm giving nothing but leftovers to the people, the things, and everything in life that matters most to me. I don't want to give those people or those things leftovers. Instead, I want to focus a little bit more. A book that helped me to do that was The One Thing, by, I believe it's Gary Keller. So the one thing was something that helped me realize that, where are you spending 80% of your time? That should be on the things that actually matter, the things that make the most progress and count the most. So I balance by asking those people, are you getting the best of me today? Are you getting the best of me of this week? And when I hear those responses, I react to them.
Perfect. 11, if you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing?
I probably would still be teaching in some capacity, whether that was a high school teacher, a yoga instructor. I naturally enjoy teaching. I love leading people, encouraging people, and equipping people. So if it wasn't in the realm of design, just guaranteed it would be somewhere else, because that allows me to invest in people still. And I just have a heart for people. So it would be teaching in some capacity.
What would you not like to do with your career?
There is no part of me that loves to do administrative things or really detail oriented things. I go cross-eyed if I look at a spreadsheet for more than 5 minutes. So being stuck somewhere, actually, I'm going to take that answer back and answer it a different way. Actually, that used to be me. That used to be my biggest fear, the thing I didn't want the most. I think now the thing that I don't want most is to show up every day investing in somebody else's company, doing something else for somebody else, and me not having like a heart behind it. That's why I've become self-employed and become an entrepreneur, because I prefer to invest in something I care passionately about.
Wonderful. Number 13, what's your favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Oh man, favorite word, quote, or sentence. I wish I had one. I don't think that I have one. I don't actually have one at all. I have zero. I have too many probably. I love words. I love language. I think it matters deeply. I will say this: I love to explore words, quotes, and sentences. So quite often I have like a word of the week or month that I'm trying to apply. And right now I'm trying to learn Spanish, so that's been on hold because I'm trying to learn Spanish words more than anything.
Nice. Do you have a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Yeah, can't. I don't like the word can't. When people tell me they can't do it, what they're really saying is that their priorities or they're just aligned differently, but they don't want to admit it. So I don't like when people say can't. I'd prefer that people say they won't or they're not willing to.
If you had to pick one word to describe yourself, what word would you choose?
I would probably say energy. I think most people tell me that. I tend to talk with my hands. I smile a lot. I laugh a lot. It's just kind of who I am. So there's no part of me that, I mean, I can be serious when I need to be serious, but there's always some sort of like energetic, like piece to who I am and wherever I am.
What keeps you up at night?
Thinking about how I can stop focusing on that perfection the next day, because I know things are coming. I know they're on my mind, and I'm trying to put away my need for perfection or pleasing people. And I need to focus on, hey, what can I do tomorrow just to be better than I was today?
What's a dream you're chasing?
I am chasing right now, not financial freedom, but freedom of time. So my time is the most valuable and precious resource we have. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So I'm trying to figure out how to be more impactful with the time that I have, and to free up as much time as I can.
Number 18, what inspires you?
I would say that God inspires me. I'm a person of faith, and so I'm constantly looking for my inspiration in His grace, His peace, His joy, everything that He gives me, and the way that He manifests all of that grace, peace, and joy through the people that I love dearly.
Final two, number 19, any advice you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would say everybody needs to share and who they are and what they have, because there's tons of other design channels. There's tons of other creatives. There's tons of other course makers. But I believe that I have a unique perspective because I've been uniquely and wonderfully made. So I think everybody has that. I'm not unique, so to speak. I'm not special, so to speak, but I think everyone has a unique perspective, and it's a shame that people won't share it out of fear for what they think people will say about it.
And 20, how can our listeners keep tabs on you? How can we follow you? What should we do? What's our call to action?
Yeah, you can go to jesseshowalter.com. That'll give you links everywhere, over to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on social media. I'm launching courses that you can follow there. And I have a design club called the Design Champions, where I engage with my members on a weekly basis, have live events. So if you want to get really close and hang out with me and have more hands-on time with me, you could become one of my design champions.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. You're the first quote unquote internet personality we've had on the show. So it's super exciting to have you here and to listen to your responses. Thanks so much for being on.
I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me.